How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Continues to Tick. I hope you're all managing good health and good spirits. This COVID pandemic darkness of a cloud seems to be momentarily dissipating. You can actually see a little sunlight peeking through. If you've been following the news, media, or shall I even say it, as I'm here in California, Gavin Newsom, there recently has been more sharing in the news feeds that hospitalizations are actually decreasing. ICU capacity is down. Testing positivity rates of COVID are also down. And I must say, as a currently working registered nurse who's at that point of burnout, these are all great things. All great things for sure. Now, along the same lines of working more, and maybe this may be all that it is, but for some reason I've been thinking more and more about the temptation of buying a new car or vehicle lately. Maybe I'm just bored, maybe I just need, some spark of excitement in my life. But I keep wandering the YouTube Overland sections, and man, do those modified Jeep Wranglers, man, do they look great. Or even those Toyota Tacomas, the TRD Pros. Now, sure, I can afford a new car. I'm investing quite a bit each month anyway, right? I mean, my current monthly investing amount, it could technically be split between a car payment and less into my dividend portfolio or for retirement planning. But will it be worth it? Is that trade-off worth it? For some it may already be, while for others they may not be. And this all gets me into this week's video topic, which is what do we do, what should we do, especially as we're young and eager to work, or just entering the workforce. Maybe no kids yet, maybe no major family obligations. Should we invest now and indulge later, or indulge now and invest less, or invest later? So it's a tough decision, and like I've said earlier, it's one that for whatever reason lately it's been fun to contemplate. Although I know which path I'm currently on, it'll continually be a teetering effect to stay on it. It's a daily choice, that's for sure. Investing, frugality, the FIRE movement, early retirement goals, it's all a lifestyle choice. And not a small one at that. Not a small sacrifice by any means. No matter how much I want that gas-drinking Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with the Overland mods, I come to terms that it may not be my smartest card to play. At least not yet. Patience is tough. It's a skill that needs to be exercised, practiced, and kept in order, especially when it comes to building and planning for a financially positive future. And this can go for anything. Replace my desire or itch for a new car with frequent costly trips, new clothes, watches, jewelry, or even fine dining more than we should. It's all a choice. A matter of balance, and the way in which it all leans is totally up to you. For me personally, for example, continually pushing off this desire for a brand new car in hopes for better financial building blocks, as I'm young now and believe in compounding over time, and along with early retirement. I like to think that methodically planning this way for the future now, when you're young, is so much more of a favor to our older selves in the future. I've seen too many unhappy older individuals who share their wish or advice of if I, quote-unquote, could go back in time. And like my channel infers often, time is critical, and how we use it is borderline crucial. But then again, we can unfortunately not even see tomorrow. I tend to naturally live on the side of patience and slow living. I tend to side on living for the future rather than the present. And I guess ultimately that's why it's easier for me to put aside present pleasure for an early retirement, or better positioned to buy a new car in the future. I currently have a 2000 Toyota Camry. The paint's chipping off, it rattles in different parts of the car. The leather seats are fading. It has an odd bounce to it when you drive it, but it gets me from point A to point B, and from point B to point C, and then from point A to C, and C to A. It's reliable, and I'm trying to drive it till it dies, and in the meantime I'm saving quite a bit of money doing so. I'd rather be in a position where I go out and purchase a Jeep Wrangler and own it with a nice built financial foundation, rather than purchasing this Jeep and having it own me with a weakly built financial foundation, which would also likely lead me into even more years of working down the road. And now, there is no correct answer to this. Is investing before fun and pleasurable expenses, is that the right way to do it? We don't live forever. Should we do that now? It's a tough question. But my goodness, is the game of life interesting, right? And with this said, let's go ahead and jump into the dividend portfolio review for this week. So here we are in the Jesse's cash flow portfolio, sitting heavier than we ever have before. Quite interesting indeed, as it's total opposition of what happened last week. But here we are, sitting at $16,669. I think this is the highest return gain I've seen on this portfolio thus far. Nearly 20% return, 19.34%, which equates to a market gain of $1,336, with earned dividends of $138, all equaling out to a total gain of $1,475 for their portfolio. A little snippet of a growth portfolio, right? No, I'm just kidding. 20% wouldn't be very much in a growth portfolio, but in a dividend growth portfolio, I'll take it any day. This last week, it was a good week, up almost 4%, up nearly $615. And here we are earning dividends. And now this is somewhat flawed. I definitely earned more dividends than this. I don't know exactly how M1 Finance calculates it, but I'll soon show you here in the activity section. But we got paid quite a bit of dividends this last week. But I guess I am recording this on Sunday, so who knows how it counts its days for the week. But overall for this week, we did well. You saw the deposit and then continual climb. The market kind of recovered. Like I was saying in the last video, I was almost somewhat tempted to throw a little bit more into the portfolio just because it was dipping, but it looks like it's recovered and it's going. But the market's always going to fluctuate. I don't lose sleep over this, as I've kind of gone over in some of my previous videos. The nice thing about a dividend portfolio is it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how the market's doing. It can go up, it can go down on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. But at the end of the day, what matters is you getting paid your dividends and companies not slashing their dividends or cutting them. And as long as that's the case, your dividend portfolio is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is provide that passive income pillow, that one you could sleep on at night comfortably. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy looking at my portfolio multiple times a day, but I do that out of fun, not out of worry. And there's a big difference there. But as you can see here, in opposition to last week, we got a nice green lawn, not the Red Sea. So big difference, right? Interesting to see some of the big gainers. So it's the ETF that I'm holding, financials, energy. Interesting. But let's head over into the activity section. And here we are, starting the week off on February 1st with some dividend payouts. We got paid by ABM, 81 cents, AT&T, $3.36, and this is a high yielding company. JP Morgan Chase, $2.27, Verizon also, $2, American Tower Core, $1.73. And that was on February 2nd, whereas all these other ones were on February 1st. Here on February 3rd, we had the $500 deposit, like we always do every single week. This is my main mission, just trying to keep this consistency, the one thing I can depend on. And as long as I remain systematic, I think that's key. I think that's key to growing a nice dividend growth portfolio. And we'll see how it plays out with time. And with this, as you can see here, we had a nice big snowball, $11.39 snowball for this week. And a lot of that came from this week's dividend payouts, which occurred earlier in the week before this deposit. But it hasn't been uncommon to see snowballs of this size, here and there now in our portfolio. Before it was just pennies and then dollars, and now we're getting into teens of dollars. So it's interesting, right? It's nice to see. And then here we are on February 5th, $1.27 by General Dynamics Core. So things are getting pretty interesting. We're approaching $17,000 and getting even closer to the 20K mark. And if we get there sooner than I anticipate, great. If it takes us longer to get there, that's totally fine too. So if you like this video, hit the like button. It does help. Psychologically, it feels good. I enjoy making these videos. This journey won't stop anytime soon. So if you're looking forward to anything coming out of this channel, do hit the subscribe button. We started at 0. We're about 35 subscribers now at the point of this video. And it's pretty neat to see the slow and steady progression. All of this is just a documentation of the journey of growing a dividend growth portfolio. I'm 25 years old. I'm trying to retire at 50. And I'm trying to use a dividend growth portfolio to help me get there. And I'm hoping after 20, 25 years, I'll have something to show and I'll have a documentation of how I reached there. And hopefully the end goal will be just how I'm picturing it. And until then, time will continue to tick. There's nothing we could do about it. And with that, I'll close out this week's video. Take care of yourself. Take care of anyone close to you that you care about. 2021 was off to a rocky start. It's somewhat balancing out now, and I'm pretty optimistic for it. And until next week, I will see you then.